Hey YouTube, what is up? Justifiable Shenanigans here with the first video where I actually do something. Today we're going to be doing some pack openings. By pack openings, I more specifically mean a starter deck for a game some of you might not even know about, some of you might be sad about it going away, and other people who really just don't care. But that game is Chaotic, the TCG card game. Yes, I just said card game twice, but that really doesn't matter. For some of you who don't know what Chaotic the game was, it's a card game that was also an online based card game that sadly went out of business a few years back, and they are still selling some products online, and I managed to get a hold of some of the starter decks. So this one that I'm going to be opening today is the Mipedian starter deck for when the Mipedian invasion went down. For some of you who might not have known, the Mipedian invasion, it was these evil alien type creature things that came in and kind of just wrecked the world for everyone else that lived in Param, which is the place where all these creatures are from. So, without further ado, I'm going to get this box open. And again, sorry if quality isn't the best. Still getting used to this whole YouTube thing. Still apparently getting used to how to open boxes too. Alright, so we've got a manual on how to actually play the game. For those of you that don't know how the game works, it contains everything inside this little manual. Feel free, if you ever buy one, to read it. A playmat with the game itself. Just open this up real quick. There's your playmat for you. A little bit complex, but luckily it says most of the rules right here. Alright, this is the Danian version of the playmat. And on the other side is the Mipedian version, as you can see, based on this lizard dude over here and the bug dude over here. So, without further ado, I'm going to get to the cards themselves. Now these packages are kind of hard to open, so it might take me a second to get into the package. Gotta love that good old engineering. I'll try not to damage the cards, but I really want to see the cards inside, so I'm getting a little rambunctious. Let me just set you down real quick. Hope you can see a little bit, just so I can get my hands up in here, try to get this open. Alright, so I managed to get it open. Alright, well, that was the wrong side. That's okay. I didn't read any of the cards. So, gonna set those over there for real quick. I hope if I can separate them out. Because with this deck, you actually get some foil with the deck. So, I don't want to go over those till the end. Alright, so the first card we have is the creature Miscule. It is an uncommon with invisibility surprise, which pretty much lets them attack first, as long as it is the first turn, and they are starting the fight. They have Earth 5, so if they use any of their Earth abilities, they do an extra 5 damage. They have Earth and Air. He's got 45 Courage, 45 Power, 35 Wisdom, and 55 Speed, which isn't very decent, not gonna lie. It's got 1 music counter, got 45 energy, and has the brainwash ability to be able to gain extra invisibility damage and swiftness of 2, which lets them move further every turn. Which none of these abilities can actually work unless you have a Mipedian on your team. Then we have Siri, which is an Earth Air user with 55 energy, 1 music counter, 40 Courage, 50 Power, 30 wisdom and 80 speed. Pretty speedy little fella, but not too bad. He's got invisibility of strike 10, which means his first attack does 10 extra damage. And his brainwash ability is outperformed, speed 5. So to my knowledge, that means if he uses an ability, he reduces the enemy's speed by 5. Don't quote me on that one, but I think that's what it does. He's got Wistani, who is a mage. The fun thing about this person is that, I don't know if you can see it that well, but they have a music ability for 1, where you heal 10 points of damage to target creature, and then that target creature loses 25 speed, which honestly isn't that amazing, or that good for that matter, but it's still pretty nice. The brainwash ability is heal 15 damage to target adjacent creature, so they don't lose the speed, and they also gain a swiftness of 1, this creature, not the person you heal, but that would be pretty amazing. You got 40 energy, 2 music counters, so you got 35 courage, 40 power, got 35 wisdom, and 60 speed. No elements, by the way. The next creature we have is Iberium. Yeah. So, they have ability for 1 music counter, where Iberium gains element type air until end of turn. Well, not end of turn, more like end of battle. They already have the earth type, 40 energy, and its brainwash ability lets you relocate an opposing unengaged creature into an unoccupied space adjacent to it. So you pretty much get to move around your opponent's monster creature things, which is pretty nice. Not amazing, but still nice. I got 1 music counter. Let's see, we've got 40 courage, 35 power, 45 wisdom, and 75 speed. Again, Mipedians are well known for their speed. We've got the Kamal, melee trainer. Let's see, he's got target creature gains invisibility strike 10 for 1 music counter. He's got fire for his element type. Got 25 energy, which kinda awful, not gonna lie, but not bad. And his brainwash ability is pay 1 music counter, target creature loses 25 speed. Nice if you're trying to outperform them on the speed aspect. He's got 30 courage, 25 power, 45 wisdom, and 50 speed. He's got 2 music counters. All in all, not gonna lie, he's kind of a shitty copy, but that's okay. For those of you who didn't know, with these cards, the copies themselves don't exactly have the same energies and ability scores per se. Each card, like each copy, has its own unique types of numbers. Alright, and the next creature that we have is a rare, actually. Dwayiki, I think, is what his name is. Mipedians you control have, with invisibility, gain 20 speed and invisibility strike 5. So he gains an extra 5 damage on his first attack, or everyone with invisibility. He doesn't actually have invisibility, but that's okay. He has fire 5, and he's loyal, so he will not go on attack with any other clan or group species thing. I think it's clan in this game. He's got air and fire. He's got 60 energy. He's got 30 courage, 45 power, 55 wisdom, and 95 speed with 1 music counter. Not a bad card, not gonna lie. We've got Aspect Amplifier Agility. There you go, that's the name. Amplifier Agility. Equipped creature has outperformed speed 5. attacks played by equipped monster deal an additional 5 damage with successful speed attacks. Okay, that's how that works. So it really only triggers if you're using speed attack, which there are a decent amount in the game. Not too many, not too few. Let's see, Breath of the Desert. So Breath of the Desert is equipped creature gains 10 speed. You can sacrifice Breath of the Desert, and equipped creature gains Air 5. You can only use this ability when the equipped creature is engaged, so you can't just sacrifice it for no reason, which makes sense. I don't think anyone would want to sacrifice it for no reason. That's okay. We've got Mind Prism. Generic. Just gives equipped creature 10 energy. Not bad. Not bad. Ooh, we have a Phobia tabard. It's a little, like, cloth equipment thing. Equipped creature gains Intimidate Wisdom 10 and Intimidate Speed of 10. I think this is what I was trying to say the other ability was, where whenever they attack, they reduce the enemy's abilities by that much, but don't quote me on that one. We got Prism of Sloth. It gives the equipped creature plus 5 energy, and if you sacrifice Prism of Sloth, target creature loses 20 speed. Nice with the whole Mipedian I will outrun you thing. Sinister Statute. Yes, Statute. When the equipped creature deals 15 or more damage, the opposing creature loses 10 and a discipline of your choice. So pretty much if you hit him really hard, you can make him lose stuff. Any choice. Target creature gains... Oh, sorry. It's called Etude of Exhaustion. So it's one generic music counter. It's a music. Target creature gains exhaust all disciplines 5. So what that means is when you cast this, target somebody, whenever they use an attack, they lose 5 of every single ability type. Yeah, that's pretty deadly. Especially if you're running with Marillions, which you might find out about later. The next music, Prelude to Dominance. So, Prelude to Dominance, pretty generic. Well, it's a generic music, so it is pretty generic. But it's one generic music counter, and it deals 10 damage to target creature. Nothing too special. You know, not bad. Not bad. Specific diminishing. Target creature loses 20 to a discipline of your choice. Again, it's generic. One generic music counter. We've got, oh gosh, what is his name? Allegro. It costs 2. It's a Mipedian music, so only Mipedians can cast it. Target creature gains 50 speed. If your engaged creature gained initiative this turn, Allegro costs 0. You can't really see it, but there's a 0 inside of that music symbol. So it costs 0 music if you are on the offensive, which is pretty nice. Aura of Enragement, not Entanglement. Don't know why I said Entanglement. It's one Mipedian music counter. Target creature gains Recklessness 5. So, the way Recklessness works is if your creature attacks with Recklessness, he loses 5 health or energy whenever he attacks. Because he's reckless and doesn't understand that he's hurting himself. That's kind of sad, but it makes sense. We've got Selective Strain. Target creature gains 15 to a discipline of your choice. That creature loses 15. Oh, why did I say 15? He gains 25 to a discipline of your choice. And then that creature loses 25 to another discipline of your choice. you pretty much get to mix and match his disciplines. So the first ability or attack is Velocitrap. Doesn't do any damage by itself, but has a challenge of speed 15 to deal 10 damage. So if your creature has 15 more speed than the enemy, they take 10 damage, which is pretty nice. So it looks like we got two of those, two Velocitraps. Then we have Vine Snare. A typical ability in the TV show. For those of you who didn't know it, it does 5 damage. 5 extra damage if you have the Earth attribute or element type on the creature you're using it with. And it has an ability that only activates if you're using with Earth. Opposing engaged creature loses 25 speed. So this deck really saps speed. And we got 2 Vine Snares. Then we have 2 Decelerations. So the way this works is Deceleration is a stat fail. It has to do with your opposing engaged creature's disciplines. So if they have less than 100 speed, it does 5 damage. If they have less than 50 speed, it does 10 damage. And if they have less than 5 speed, which is really depressing, but you can make it happen with this deck, then they take 15 points of damage, which is really strong considering we got 2 of them. Then we have Hampering Winds, which is another card for 2 deck cost. Does 5 damage, 5 with wind. And if the opposing engaged creature's speed is 50 or less, they take an additional 10 damage, which is pretty significant. We got 2 of those, but if I hadn't already said that. Then we've got some Poison Spheres. The way Poison Sphere works is does 5 damage. Well, first of all, it's 1 for deck cost. Does 5 damage, has a challenge speed of 15 to deal an additional 10 damage. And then a stat check of 50, where your opposing creature loses 15 speed. And no, it does not work where they lose the 15 speed, then the challenge triggers. Sadly, no. If the challenge happens, then the speed's lost. So, pretty much, if you can't pull off the speed check, or you're just really fast, you reduces their speed for the rest of the turn. And you got 2 of those. Then we have some Radical Ice Balls. Radical. Where they do 0 damage. But if you have Wind and Earth, they do an extra 5 for each type. Then for Earth, your creature gains 10 speed. If your creatures weren't fast enough, here's a radical way to make them even faster. I feel like we can guess the team at this point. It's all about that speed. That speed is what they need. See, these are called Slow Sand. Not Quicksand. Slow Sand. It's 2 attack cost. They're 0 base. And with Air and Earth, it does an extra 10 damage. So a total of 20 damage can be done. And if you have Earth, your opposing engaged creature loses 25 speed. Which, again, makes it so that you are so much faster than them. Gosh, this deck could be good if you have some nice cards from the set. Then we've got Streak Strike. For 1, we have 2 of those. At 0, and then 5 extra damage if you have Earth attribute element type. It has a stat check of 50, where it deals 5 extra damage. Ooh, and it also has a stat check of Courage. That's new for this deck, where you do another extra 5 damage. Again, 2 of those. We've got some Slow-Mos. It's for 0. They do no damage whatsoever. But then the opposing engaged creature loses 20 speed. So they're slow as a rock. Like, actually, a rock can be faster than them if thrown down a hill. Not gonna lie. Very slow. And then the last ability attribute attack card for 0. Shriek Shock. Does 0 damage base, but has a stat check for speed of 50, where it does 5 damage. For 2 of those, which makes sense with all of those speed ability checks from all the other cards we have. Next, we go on to the location cards. So we have 2 Brawler's Burrows. So with Brawler's Burrow, your initiative is speed. Well, go figure, because the deck's all about speed. So pretty much, if you have the fastest speed on the field, well, in the 2 combatants, you get to attack first. And then when this card becomes the active location, each player shuffles together their attack discard pile and attack deck. So you're pretty much reshuffling all of your attacks and start anew with all your attacks. But then all creatures have outperform all disciplines 5. So whenever they attack, the opponent gets weaker, and weaker, and weaker, until they have nothing. Going off that whole speed aspect. Again, 2 copies of that. Then we have Broken Edge. Broken Edge is initiative of speed of air, so you need air to attack first. And then the engaged creature has outperform speed 5. Go figure, more speed. And damage dealt by wisdom attacks is reduced by 5, which is intriguing because there aren't any wisdom attacks in this deck, so that makes sense. Again, 2 copies of that. We then have Chamber Waves as our next location, which has a wisdom initiative, which is interesting because this is the first card we've seen that actually deals with good wisdom. And then creatures lose 10 to all disciplines when they enter this place, so they get even slower. Again, 2 of those. We then have 2 Halls of Fatigue, initiative of speed. And then the engaged creatures have exhaust power 5 and exhaust speed 5. So whenever they attack, they lose 5 power and 5 speed. Dun 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 dun. Talk about fatigue. Then we've got Vidav's Reflectorium with an initiative of wisdom, which is interesting yet again. And when this becomes the active location, each player draws 2 attack cards, then discards 2 attack cards, which pretty much allows you to gain new attacks and lose some of your old attacks to draw out those more powerful cards. It's pretty nice. So you got 2 of those. And now, the moment, or one of the moments we've been waiting for. You got a Mipedian Chieftain as part of the deck. And we got Ihun Kalin, which ability works really well with this deck. Oh my god. Discard 2 music cards. Destroy target engaged creature with 0 speed. So pretty much, if you reduce their speed to 0, you can just discard 2 musics and insta-kill them. So, he's got water. He's got 45 energy. 0 music counters. 45 courage. Sorry, let's try new angles. 45 courage. 55 power. 50 wisdom. And 85 speed. And it's a rare. It's a Mipedian Chieftain. And it gives the brainwash text to all other monsters in the deck. So that includes all those guys I was showing you with their types that had the black border around them on the bottom. Yeah, those guys. They get to use their special effects. Alright, so that was the rest of the actual deck. Time to go through the rares that came with the deck. Let's see. We've got Disempowerment Combo. It's a super rare. It's 5 damage, 3 water damage. It's got all of the stat fails in the game. If you have less than 30 courage, they take 10 damage. If they have less than 30 power, they take 10 damage. If they have less than 30 wisdom, they take 10 damage. And I bet you can guess it. If they have less than 30 speed, they take 10 damage. So if you sap all of their ability types, you can do a grand total of 50 damage with this card. But it costs 4 attack points, so if you're gonna put this in your deck, you're gonna need to run a lot of 0 attack cards, which aren't the strongest, but that's okay. Next card. Ooh, that's shiny as can be. It's another Mipedian Gantrak. Let's see, what does Gantrack do? Attacks played by your creatures reduce the opposing engaged creature's discipline by an amount equal to the damage they would deal instead of dealing damage. If a creature has 0 in all disciplines, destroy it. Alright, that's an amazing card. It just, in my personal opinion, you don't have to like it, but I love that card. That's just so cool. It's got 50 energy, 0 music counters, 50 courage, 45 power, 40 wisdom, and 40 speed. Not the fastest dude, but with the Mipedians hitting like a truck, you can destroy their disciplines very fast. Wow, I just realized it reduces all of the opposing creature's disciplines by that amount, not just one. So that's a lot faster than I thought. Alright, the next card we have is Duality Dirge. It's a generic music for 3. Target creature loses courage, power, wisdom, and speed, or gains that much, to make its discipline equal to its scan discipline, and becomes untargetable by music or abilities. That's very good against Marillions. But this deck is going to be running Marillions. I mean, I'll probably fight some, but still a pretty decent music. I mean, it costs 3, which is a little hefty, but that's okay. And the last rare in the deck, or in the thing, is Alluring Bait. Equipped creature gains discarded music. Relocate target opposing untapped creature to an unoccupied, why did I say untapped? Unoccupied space adjacent to equipped creature. So, fairly decent. Not super cool, but not super bad either. So yeah, that's pretty decent. That was the last actual card in the deck. But then we get this really depressing card saying we can put all these cards online, but I mean, sadly we can't because the game got shut down. But that's not okay, but still. We don't want to end on a sad note, so I hope you guys enjoyed me opening this deck of awesome chaotic cards. It was pretty fun to do, and I have the rest of the decks from the Melee Invasion, so we've still got the Overworld, the Underworld, and the Danians to open. And we'll see how time progresses. I might even open more chaotic stuff if you guys want to. Just leave a comment if there's anything specific you guys want me to open, and I'll see what I can do. But I had fun with this. I hope you guys had fun watching it. So this is me signing off. Just remember, there can never be too much shenanigans, and enjoy your guys' day.